I have to be content, at peace in myself. There's no way I can think these unpeaceful thoughts any longer, because they do get projected out into the reality whether I like it or not. We're that interconnected, all of us. And that was just one of those visual demonstrations by which I came to know, that some of my weaknesses were probably best just kept, and dealt with in a different way, and never allowed to arise their ugly heads in such thoughts again. And so I did. I just stopped. I don't think those thoughts anymore. Well, of course, my life was much improved from there, too, So it kind of goes hand in hand. But even as I did another few years in that situation, and it was difficult the whole time, for the most part, but I still just stuck with it. Because I knew that's what I needed to do, and every time I tried to get away from it, the spirits would just turn me around and head me right back. So I stayed with it until it was over. And we're all the better for it, because whatever it was we needed to share there between the two of us, we did. We managed to get it done, somehow or another. And then when that was over with, we just moved on. And she's much happier now, and I am too, and it's a beautiful thing. But babies, you gotta watch your heart. You gotta be in the heart, which means feeling the love inside of yourself and knowing that you're better than all that. No matter what kind of a situation you've got yourself into in a relationship or in business, difficulties come from all directions. We can get ourselves really screwed up, but just keep your heart in your mind, in your consciousness. Just keep that flow going, that love that is awakening inside of you and bringing you back to life. Just keep that flowing. And babies, you will never think an abject thought that's going to influence another person to do something stupid. You're only going to be thinking thoughts that are productive and helpful to all. And it's not like a regimen that you have to discipline yourself into or anything. Just when you see yourself headed in that direction, you see your thoughts pulling in that direction, send them on their way. Let them just flow through. Don't give them any weight. Don't touch them. And it will quiet that little monstrous thing that thinks those kind of thoughts inside of yourself down. And babies, things will get a whole lot more peaceful for you in your life. It's just another stage, another step in the transition into a planetary ascendancy, but it's very personal. You notice the influence your thoughts have on others. Pay attention to what goes on around you, and automatically whatever discipline you need will come into you. That's what happened to me in that way back when. Wasn't that long ago, like I said, 10 years ago. Just one of those moments when, things seemed really dark and ugly, and I was just like, whoa, woe is me. We all get that way once in a while, no matter what. It's part of this life, part of what we have lived in the old illusions. But those moments are there to demonstrate to you, again, the power of your own thinking, the power of your thoughts. So that you'll remember to be cautious and careful about what you're thinking, You don't want to wish anybody dead. I had a really good friend that hated this person really bad, another person who was in a certain position over him. And for years he had this grudge. Well, when that person up and died of a heart attack, this person that hated him felt so disloyal, felt so guilty that he was just hammered for days, months on end. It took him a long time to recover from the guilt and shame of watching this other person, whom he found very disagreeable but had to work with every day of his life. The personal responsibility he felt like he'd wished this person's heart attack upon him. He felt like he'd wished him dead. And he might have been right. He may have done that. He may have had that big of an influence on this person. Our influence on one another is so invisible to us in the past. But now we become more conscious of these tactics that go on, the powers of our thoughts, the powers of our thinking. Babies, it's just all living proof, a demonstration that you are creator, that inside of you is creation, that you are an active participant in creation, whether you know it or not. That the stars and the moon and the sun shine upon you because you are the life living in creation, the one who does create. And the more you come into this heart presence, the more you see of yourself inside, the more peace you gain with your past. As thoughts and memories come up and you just start seeing it from the higher perspective. Now, how do you do that? Well, you do that simple little exercise I was talking about. Open hands in your lap, and you're looking at your third eye from inside of yourself with your other eyes closed. It's real simple. You can call in help if you want to, according to your own beliefs and practices or whatever. But get yourself in that state. And baby, things just start to happen. Now you're going to have to discipline yourself a tiny bit. That means get yourself to a place where you have time to give yourself that space, and you take that time. And you do it consistently throughout the day. Little moments that come and you're quiet and alone, you can do that. Just close your eyes and practice this for just a minute. Invite the angels and so forth to continue to assist you, etc. Invite assistance on whatever troubles and difficulties you may be having, and you will see your way out. Sometimes it takes a bit. It's a process, babies. This learning and growing and gaining ground is a process. There are instant rewards quite often, but other times, man, it takes a bit to work it through. But what used to take old timers like me and others years to get through, you get through in a matter of seconds, minutes. It's over with in a hurry for you because you're that much more adept at involving the processing, at involving yourself in the processing. You have a natural gift for this. Believe it or not. And if you're of the younger age generations, babies, you just walk right into it like it's nothing. What took us years of agony to, bring ourselves back out of because we broke the trail, now it's real easy for you. The energy is there, the energy is available, and all you got to do is access it. And how do you access it again? In that calmative way. I call it communication because that's essentially what it is. When you're in that state with let's say you're sitting up with your palm of your hands open in your lap and you're just closing your eyes and looking out at the forehead from inside of yourself. And perhaps you're seeing light and energies moving around, and then they'll start to take form, and you'll pretty soon understand and realize the assistance of angels and others because you'll have personal contact with them at this heart level way. This is a way of bringing yourself back into the heart level. It's as simple as all get out. And yeah, it's historically based. I mean, you don't have to look very far to see that this is verified in many different areas of old context. It's been written about again and again through the ages. But it's such a simple thing, most people miss it. They have to personify it into a glorious meditation where you do all these various practices and stuff to get yourself into it and blah, blah, blah. You don't need all of that. Not anymore. There were times when it was so rough to acquire energies of love inside of yourself that, yes, it took major work. And it wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't. That's why a lot of the beliefs, practices, the meditative practices you see involve a lot of tricky bits. Because it was tricky in those days. It's not now. Now you can embrace the simplicity of simple love inside of yourself and just be who you are. Just let it be who you are. Love it for who you are. Love it as you are. And babies, you set yourself free. Love always frees you. Frees you to follow the path of love, the path of the heart. To know that path and to be that path. Ain't that awesome? I mean, just step into it. Just relax into it. Don't try to force or compel yourself in any way. Don't try to deal with your problems head on until you're sufficiently ready. Because you'll take care of them in these odd little coyote ways. Just by being in this little tune-in stage, this communicative heart will assist you, will rise greatly and assist you in resolving every situation in your life. So you'll never have a depressive thought again, not ever. You become content inside for real. You lose every pain and trauma you've ever had. You come home to your heart, and you be there in love full time. And that's all you see and experience. It's called innocence. Living in love is innocence. And when you live in the fullness of your own loving creation, that person that you are babies, you have purified the creation around you. You have automatically made it much better for everyone because your eyes only see with this innocent love. And therefore, that is what is created in your environment. And of course, it gets much broader than this. That's just the beginning. That's just where you start to realize the nature and extent of your true creative powers. Then the heart engages you in the ascendant process, brings you home completely to this heart. You let go of any control that's ever been exercised over you by any being. But how do you do that? You recognize the beings and presences that are influences, and in one way or another, you bless them, you love them. And if they're necessary, you send them on their way, but in a safe way so they won't bug others. Invite the angels to come and take them to a safe place where they can be handled and brought back to life. That's the whole idea here. We have a whole other race and tribe with us in this earthly reality that came, as you would think, from what you would call fourth dimensional realities, and invaded most every human being with their energies. And this is what caused this problem we call the ego. You know, it's not really an ego. It's an entity in most people created out of an feeling of inadequacy that we inherit when we're invaded. It's not a real human feeling. We know when we're born. You look at any baby you want, just about. I mean, they have that contentment. They have that glow, that love that you have when you come in from paradise, you see. And now, babies, we're even doing away with birth and death. It'll come much differently now, and death will no longer be. You just invite, oh my, that's a noisy phone. Hang on just a minute here. Let me handle this. There we are. We got it handled for a minute. Just hang on. I'm doing a station break. I'll be right there. So, babies, okay, just keep your heart in it. Keep your love in it. If you want to say hi to the folks here, Mother God.
Sure. Love you.
Babies, yeah, there she is. She's long distance today, babies. Isn't that awful, man? Not just sitting right here in my lap helping me talk away. But it's beautiful just the same. We work good long distance. We work good together, man. It's just an awesome thing going on here, babies. I just want you to know how happy we truthfully are to be able to find this twin flame relationship coming back into our lives, man. It's just like, wow. I mean, I got up there in years and I got disgusted and thought it would never happen, man. You know, I closed myself off for a long time. It hurt. It hurt like hell. But here we are back together again and getting it right, ain't we, babies?
Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's awesome, man. You know, it's like two of the most ancient and divided energies have found themselves in this reality. You talk about your needle in a haystack, holy cow. But this is the kind of magic that'll happen to you if you just stay in your heart. Keep this love flowing. Do the communicative technique as often as you possibly can until it becomes nature to you and you're in communication all the time. And even then, you'll still take your little breaks and give yourself that quiet time because it just helps solidify things. You need this time. It's very important in your life. So babies, do it and just keep doing it. And keep listening to the Coyote Medicine Show here, babies, and we'll keep you on the path and we'll keep you pumped up and going until we're all living in what? Paradise, baby. And that ain't Las Vegas. Babies, it ain't Las Vegas. The Coyote Medicine Show. Only on the Hazy Radio Network. Your ticket to flight in the great daylight. At night as well, babies. Keep it rocking. There we go. Now I got that one down. I've been kind of in a daze lately, you know, to be quite honest with you guys. And wow, I've just been in this place where I can't keep track of everything, you know. So I'm getting myself gathered back together little by little. Phenomenal moments in the recent times, babies. I mean, I'm doing things with myself, you know, coming back together inside of myself in ways that, man, I couldn't even imagine before. Now it's here and it's real and it's happening. And babies, I couldn't be more pleased. I couldn't be more together inside. Yet at the same time, I'm a little scattered here in the world, man. I just, you know, don't quite get it, you know. am not quite in sync. In this material world, I'm kind of like checking out. In a way. I mean, no, I'm not dying or nothing like that. Heck no, babies. I'll be alive until the end of time and then some, of course. My heart is so ancient it wouldn't dare give up at this stage. It wouldn't even entertain such a thought. You see, we got to watch our thoughts, baby. Never think that kind of stuff. Not ever. But here we are, babies. I've been through a rough time this last week. Managed to keep it all together throughout. I talked about it on the special one on Daddy's Day morning there, babies. Oh, that was an awesome show. If you haven't seen the YouTubes on that one, get over there and see them. I've got them on a special playlist called Daddy's Day Special, and you'll want to see that if you haven't heard it already, you know. And if you have, maybe you go over there and refresh yourself a little bit, because babies, that's some awesome stuff we're doing right there. Putting an end to death, etc., merging with all the powers inside, etc. I mean, wow, babies, the family reunion is on. Me, no, you're not going to have to go party with those clowns. You get to party with the real clowns, the clowns of the universe, the reality of love revealing itself to you, and I mean, every segment of humanity that's been divided away from us in some kind of multi-dimensional way or through the parallel universes and so forth, all of this family coming back together. All of the soul presence that we know of as life coming back together. Baby's an invisible reality. It's not something you got to wait around for much longer, let me tell you. Just keep doing your work inside. In other words, keep opening your heart. Feeling the flight here in the middle of the daylight. You betcha as all this good music plays when Daddy hits the trigger, right? And babies, just let your hearts soar and sail. Feel the contentment. Feel the opening for contentment inside of yourself. Nurture and enhance such feelings as your heart opens. Nurture this feeling. Help it to grow. Help it to become stronger, wiser, kinder. Because that's the natural effect of coming back into the fullness of your heart's present, which is to say, to live in love forevermore. In the heart's present, all becomes clear and clean to you. So babies, just let it be, let it come. The energy's there. And unite with these hearts that are with you here on this radio show and from everywhere else too. There's a lot that tune in with their heart that can't be here on the computer or wherever. But they still tune in. They still grab the energy. I feel them. I receive of them. Babies, there's lights coming on even now all over this planet, despite the abject mistakes of the afternoon and so forth. I mean, good grief, babies. This is awesome. We're going home, all of us. And we're taking planet Earth with us, right back to the center of reality, of all that is. For her creative heart is the source essence of everything. From earth has come creation. And that is why creation pays so much honor, duty, and performance to this Mother Earth and all of her inhabitants, us cute little human beings, us cute little love bunnies running around, growling and stumbling and having a great old time. Babies, your heart will refine your behaviors. Your heart is the key and the solution to everything in your life. And when I say your heart, now what am I talking about? Well, the heart inside of you, baby, which is made of pure love, pure consciousness, pure existential reality. All of it's there inside of your heart, the entire universe, the conception of the universe, the reality of the universe, the reality of your own person in that universe and that universe within you. It's all right there inside of that heart. That's why it's so important we let these doorways open inside. And I use that term very loosely. It's not like a door. It is an opening. And it is a great opening. Babies, just enhance it. The more you feel it, the more you get it. The more you get it, the more you feel it. And your feelings become deep and broad and spectacular. Little moments that to others would be pipsqueak, nothing, to us are phenomenal and incredible moments of joining and connecting, of celebrating life, etc. Stuff that others can barely see. We feel way down deep. stuff that others barely notice. We feel, we help, we employ our gifts in assistance to all others as we become aware of these gifts, and even sometimes subconsciously do we apply these gifts in this universe. But our moment in time has come. We are free, we are liberated now, and liberating, we're finishing the process as we go along. In other words, there is no longer the elements of control practice in your life inside of you that have been for generations of time now. We've turned such significant corners in recent times, just as a part of the planetary ascendancy that we're all participating in. And babies, it's a rockin' good time to be alive and to be feeling that life and letting that life grow in you. Areas of life that you may not have touched for a while now are reincarnating themselves. You're beginning to remember you really are a love bunny. Meaning, baby, all you see, all you think, all you feel is that love in motion. It's your entire life. Mine too. And we're just washing away the veil that's covered our eyes and kept us from seeing this reality and feeling it and living it. The more you feel, you get a lot more real. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? It's there in your heart. That's where it gets to start. And babies, as you open, as you encourage this heart from inside of yourself to be free, to liberate itself, to let go of anything that restricts it, and you do so in this loving way, then your inner knowing arises so powerfully that it's undeniable. That's the heart that I'm talking about. The heart that knows all, sees all, and does all, creates all. That is the heart inside of each and every human being, as well as the Mother Earth, our great mother, our great heart inside of us. She's the reason we've survived all these years of torment. She's the reason why we're rising up now. Because her love was held consistent throughout all of the generations. No matter the abuse we heaped upon the feminine form, the divine feminine energy, and so forth. There's been a great disrespect for her for at least 24,000 years now. At least that long. You know, there are beings and energies here, or were, that would have just destroyed us, annihilated the woman, if they could have. But the woman's strength, the mother's strength inside, so strong, so powerful, in that simple little flame of love, that love that she kindles for all of her children, that babies, we made it through the worst moments that ever created. Some of the gnarliest, most difficult paths and journeys that ever were devised for anyone to live in. We have maximized our experience here, both in darkness and light and everything in between. Out of the darkness came the greatest light. Out of the greatest light came the greatest darkness. Babies, we have exercised all of it. Exercise meaning employed it, lived it, every doggone element of it. Until we can find this moment of opening, this moment of incredible clarity where all life begins to realize itself as the heart, as the singular consciousness in all life. And in that singularity is the great polarity, well, let's see, not polarity, what's the word here I'm looking for? In that singularity is the great swell of creation, all beings, all energies, all powers, all plants, persons, everything is there inside of you in that moment too. Babies, we live it, all of it. You notice now you've been getting some feelings on the top of your head. The crown chakra has been completely awakened and opened. The spiritual umbilical cord, that golden thread of light which ties us to all life, active there, pouring through our crown chakra, helping raise. And chakra means that division. But there is no division. It's just simply the top of yourself, the place where the presence enters, where the connection is. It's also through your third eye and your hands as well, and through your heart especially. But all of these are agents of the heart. The body is an agent of the heart, a vessel of the heart, a vessel of love. This is why I call us love bunnies, because we are. Babies, it's time to drop the pretense by which we have lived. All of the stuff we've been trained into. Total BS for the most part, and unnecessary in most lives. The more you see this, the more you realize the truth of your own humanity, and of what a grand thing that really is. Wow, babies. We're just rocking, we're just partying with the angels. All day long today and all night long tonight, babies. Right here on the Coyote Medicine Show only, and exclusively on this hazy radio network, babies. Your ticket to flight here in the great daylight and the middle of the night. Your host, Grandpa Peter Koyote, and her eminence, Mother God, here in spirit and heart today, but with you all the time, babies, helping you along the way. That's just what we do here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. Now here's a little music to help us really get into flight.
Like a rock, standing arrow straight, like a rock, charging from the gate.